Amelia's first love had returned. Not only had she allowed him to move into our home, but she had also given him my pajamas. As she gently dried his hair with a blow dryer, I suddenly realized that she wasn't cold and distant. With everyone. Chapter 1. I was supposed to be on a business trip out of town. Knowing that Amelia had a social engagement that night, I returned home early without telling her. Amelia has a bad stomach, an ulcer that's been particularly painful lately. If she couldn't get out of the engagement, I figured I could at least come home and make her some herbal medicine. What I didn't expect was to surprise myself instead. I unlocked the door, and the lights inside were already on. Julian was home. But when I called out, there was no response. All I could hear was the sound of a blow dryer coming from the bathroom. I followed the sound, and the scene before me froze me in place. Amelia wasn't alone. There was a man with her, a stranger. The clothes he was wearing looked familiar. They were the ones Amelia had given me not long ago. At the time, I had told her the outfit didn't suit me. She hadn't been happy about that. She said, "Wear it or don't." I don't care. How could I not wear it? I always accepted her gifts without question. But now, seeing those clothes on someone else, I realized they fit him much better than they ever fit me. That thought alone made my fists clench at my sides. The man was facing Amelia, his hair slightly damp. Amelia was on her tiptoes, holding the blow dryer, and softly said to him, "Lower your head a little." She complained, "Why are you so tall?" The man chuckled softly but obediently bent down, bringing his head closer to her. Through the mirror, I saw a faint smile on Amelia's face. Her lips curled up. Her eyes were gentle. Yes, gentle. I had never seen gentleness like this from Amelia. It stung. Amelia and I had been together for 5 years, from the time we met until now married. She was always cold, distant with others, and indifferent with me. Nothing seemed to stir any strong emotion in her. She smiled, yes, but the smile never reached her eyes. I didn't mind much. Everyone has their own personality. Since I chose her, I had to accept both her strengths and her flaws. At least, I had always thought I was different from the others to her. But now it seemed I was just like everyone else. Leaning against the door frame, my mind was in a whirl, but I quickly forced myself to calm down. I knocked on the open door. "Excuse me, you two." The intimate atmosphere between them shattered instantly, and they finally noticed my presence. The man froze for a moment, then lifted his head to look at me, his expression shifting from confusion to understanding. He raised an eyebrow and smiled at me with a hint of provocation. Amelia, on the other hand, was startled by my sudden voice. She nearly stumbled, but was caught by the man as she let out a small yelp. I had just stretched out my hand to help her, but it froze in the air. Amelia frowned at me. "Why are you home early?" I withdrew my hand and crossed my arms. "What's the matter? Did I interrupt something? Have you two already slept together, or were you just about to?" Amelia's face darkened immediately. "Benjamin, what nonsense are you talking about?" I slammed my suitcase down with a loud thud. "Why don't you take a look at what you're doing? Alone with the man, playing some game in the bathroom. How romantic, Benjamin." Amelia was clearly furious, glaring at me with rage. The man, who had been watching the scene unfold with cold detachment, stepped forward, shielding Amelia behind him. "Mr. Bennett, right? You've misunderstood. Amelia and I aren't involved in the way you think. We're just friends. The way you're talking about your wife, don't you think it's a bit inappropriate?" His tone was accusatory, as if I was the one insulting them. I laughed dryly. "If you're going to say such shameless things, shouldn't you at least let go of my wife's hand first? Is it soft? Does it feel nice? Are you enjoying yourself?" The man's expression changed. "Mr. Bennett, if you have an issue with me, just say it. There's no need to talk about Amelia like that." I sneered. "What kind of talk? Crude or vulgar? You two aren't saying anything, but you're sure doing plenty." "You." The man, clearly enraged, stepped forward, but Amelia pulled him back. "Both of you shut up." The man wasn't satisfied. "Amelia, am I just supposed to let him slander us like this?" I scoffed. "Or what? Should she yell at me or hit me? That'll clear things up for sure, especially since we're still married. Or maybe you two can be brave enough to tell me your true loves. I'm such a kind person, I'd be happy to step aside for true love." "Shut up." Amelia grabbed my hand and started pulling me out of the room. "We need to talk." I didn't resist. I just turned back and smiled at the man. "Make yourself at home, man." Chapter 2. Amelia dragged me into the bedroom and slammed the door behind her. For the first time, The always calm and composed Amelia seemed to be losing control. I glanced at the bed. It was perfectly made, not a single crease in sight. I clicked my tongue in mock regret. Looks like you didn't have time to sleep together yet. I came back too early. Huh, Benjamin? Shut up. Amelia's eyes were blazing. Do you have to say such nasty things? You weren't like this before. I laughed softly. What do you think I should be like? Silently accepting being cheated on? You're wrong if you think that. I was raised in the streets. This is the real me. Surprised? Amelia took a deep breath. Benjamin, I don't want to argue with you. Let's talk about this later. He's an old college friend who just came back from abroad and doesn't have a place to stay. I let him stay the night here. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be. I looked at her. That's what you brought me in here to say? Amelia's silence was all the answer I needed. To say I wasn't disappointed would be a lie. I had followed her in here because I still had some hope, hoping that she would give me a reasonable explanation, even in the face of my sharp accusations. But clearly, I was being naive. Got it. So he's staying here. No problem. Do whatever you want. I turned to leave. As soon as I finished speaking, Amelia grabbed my arm. Where are you going? I stared at her in disbelief. A threesome? I'm not into that. Her grip on my arm tightened, her nails digging into my skin. It hurt like hell. Benjamin, what's gotten into you? I pried her hand off. What's gotten into me? What's gotten into you? Do you even know what you're doing, Amelia? Stop making me sick. I opened the door and walked out. The man had already changed out of my pajamas and was now dressed in a suit, looking polished and composed. He forced a weak smile at Amelia, the cracks in his facade showing. Amelia, I think I should leave. I don't want to cause more trouble. Then he turned to me. Mr. Bennett, you've really misunderstood. These are your pajamas, right? I'll return them. He handed the pajamas back to me. As he let go, I stepped back, letting them fall to the floor. Trash belongs in the trash can. Why would you give it to me? Amelia's head snapped up, her expression shifting wildly. Suddenly she spoke. You don't need to leave. Stay here. The man's eyes lit up, but he still hesitated. That wouldn't be right, would it? You and Mr. Bennett. Amelia interrupted him. Don't worry about it. I said stay. So stay? Or do you want to go to a hotel? Can you tolerate it? The man sighed. You always know me best. Their casual exchange made me nauseous. I didn't want to say another word. I picked up my suitcase and stormed out. Chapter 3. I hurried down the stairs. The cool breeze hit me, and I couldn't help but shiver. Then the nausea hit me like a wave. Bent over, I dry heaved repeatedly. Sadness, hurt, anger, betrayal that I couldn't untangle my emotions. I only knew that I was exhausted, mentally and physically. The calm facade I had kept up was crumbling. This was ridiculous. I never thought cheating would happen with Amelia. People always said when a man gets rich, he changes. Women are the same, especially in relationships where the woman is stronger than the man. You need to keep an eye on her. I never cared about those comments. I didn't mind that Amelia was more successful than me. It was just a fact. But I trusted her. I believed that even if something happened between us, even if things fell apart, we would part ways peacefully. It wasn't about love, it was about her character. But reality had slapped me in the face. Amelia, what are you doing? And who exactly is that man? With these questions in mind, I headed back to the old house. I remembered there was an old photo album in the storage room that a birthday gift Amelia had received during her university days. It was full of photos of her, some solo shots, others with different people. It was an incredibly thoughtful gift. I had asked her who gave it to her. She had said a college friend. Did they like you? After all, it's hard to believe someone would put in so much effort for just a friend. Amelia hadn't denied it. She simply said yes. Because she had been so honest, I didn't push further. After all, it's not the past that hurts people, it's their attitude in the present. The old house wasn't far, just a 20-minute drive away. Compared to the new house, I liked this one better. Amelia and I had lived here for 2 years before moving out after getting married. Sometimes when I wasn't feeling great, I'd come back to clear my head. It was my sanctuary. But this was the first time I entered with such a foul mood. I quickly found the photo album in the storage room. The Amelia in those photos was so young. She rarely smiled, but there was an undeniable vitality in her features. Many photos looked like they'd been taken secretly, showing her profile. Among the few front-facing shots, she wore a graduation cap and gown in her graduation photo, posing with various people, some girls, some guys. I went through each one carefully, then froze. This photo was different. Two people stood very close, their arms practically glued together. The guy was grinning widely, his body leaning toward Amelia. She wasn't smiling, but her hand had crumpled the sleeve of her gown. Though his appearance had changed, I recognized him immediately that it was him. On the back of the photo were two names, Amelia and Ethan, with a small heart drawn between them. Chapter 4. I was woken by renovation noise upstairs. I hadn't slept well, drifting in and out of a restless sleep. When I finally opened my eyes, my head was foggy. It took a while to realize I was at the old house. Too late to do anything last night. I crashed on the couch. Not far from me sat a person, staring in a way I couldn't ignore. It was Amelia. I wasn't surprised. I remembered once, after a fight, I stormed off, and she found me here within an hour. I'd asked how she knew, and she'd said, "Where else would you go?" She knew I had nowhere else because I was an orphan. It was Amelia who'd given me a home. Someone once asked why she didn't sell this old house. She'd said, "Let's keep it. When someone's upset, they'll have a place to hide." My feelings for Amelia were complicated. Love and gratitude. I thought we could live out our days in quiet contentment. Sighing, I got up to freshen up. Amelia had bought breakfast, and I ate without hesitation. After finishing, I asked, "His name is Ethan, isn't he? Your ex?" The photo album sat there. We weren't idiots. Amelia met my gaze. "What are you doing, bringing your ex into our home, letting him wear my pajamas, drying his hair? Are you reenacting some lost love story with me as a spectator? Believe it or not, nothing's going on between us." I shook my head. "I don't believe you." Amelia's face tensed. After a long pause, she rubbed her forehead and placed 2 receipts on the table. "He slept at the house. I stayed at a hotel. These are the receipts. If you want, I can get security footage. Nothing happened. That's the truth. I didn't look at the papers. If Amelia dared put them out, they had to be real. But still, he stayed, and she left." "Amelia, I don't understand your logic anymore. He's a light sleeper with a cleanliness obsession. He can't stay in hotels. Did he tell you that? Or are you just incredibly understanding? Benjamin, speak properly. Stop being sarcastic." "I'd love to, but have you spoken properly? Light sleeper, clean freak. What is he, royalty? Every time I travel for work, I stay in hotels. Did you ever care? Is Ethan more important than me?" Amelia stood abruptly, like I'd struck a nerve. "I already stayed elsewhere. I told you nothing happened. What more do you want?" Every accusation thundered in my mind. Gripping the table, I steadied my voice. "Divorce. I want a divorce." Amelia's expression changed. "Shut up, Benjamin. Take that back." She nearly growled. I locked eyes with her. She closed her eyes, clenched her fists. When she reopened them, the emotion was gone. "Divorce? That's not happening." Chapter 5. Amelia and I fell into a cold war. I stayed at the old house. She didn't come looking, and I didn't seek her out. I had no idea what she was thinking. Just waiting for myself to calm down. One day, her assistant called. "Senior, did you and Miss Moo fight?" The girl was a junior I'd recommended to Amelia. She'd worked under her for years and kept in touch. This was the first time she'd brought up Amelia. "What's wrong?" I asked. Hesitating, she said, "Miss Moo had a business dinner, drank a lot. I was going to call you, but a strange man picked her up, driving her car." I sent a photo of Ethan. "Was it him?" "Yes," she said worriedly. "Senior, are you okay?" I chuckled. "Find out better than fine. Looks like it's time to move the divorce forward." The longer I dragged it out, the more foolish I looked. The next morning, I had a divorce agreement drafted. Our finances were separate, so it was formalities. When I met her at the office, she hesitated but returned to indifference. "This is the office. Talk at home." "Home? Not now." I placed the agreement in front of her. "Sign it. We can go to the civil affairs office now." Amelia stared at the document. "Is this why you're here?" She tore the papers in half. I pulled out another copy. She tore it up. This went on until the 12th copy. Her face darkened. "Benjamin, are you sure?" I scoffed. "If I wasn't, would I be here?" She slammed the papers and signed. "Fine. Let's go." At the civil affairs office, the clerk asked, "Are you sure?" I nodded. Amelia's gaze lingered on me. When the clerk asked her, she averted her eyes. "Yes, I'm sure." "All right. Come back in a month for the certificate." As I exhaled, Amelia spoke. "Wait. Albert, are you really sure?" "Yes." She stood, chair crashing to the floor. "Benjamin, you're unbelievable." She stormed out. I chased after her. "Amelia, stop." She spun around and slapped me. I'll say this once. I will not divorce you. What do you mean? Are you playing games? How long will you keep this up? Over baseless accusations that you stormed out, demanded divorce. Does this amuse you? You're a grown man. I'm not playing. I want a divorce. Why? Because of Ethan? I told you that nothing happened. Why won't you believe me? How can I? Where is Ethan living? Did you set it up? Does he have no car? So you gave him one? Why did he pick you up drunk? Where did you go? What happened? I laughed bitterly. None of it matters. That night, if I hadn't come home, what would have happened? Nothing. I'd booked a hotel. If you don't believe, I don't. I don't believe you anymore. I don't care what you did. I just don't trust you. I'm good at cutting things off when necessary. Chapter 6. Life has been unkind, so I've learned to protect myself. I won't let anything drag me down. No one's ever pulled me forward. I'm an orphan. Before birth, I was called an unborn child. My biological mother found out she was pregnant after my father's car accident. She didn't want me. I don't blame her. My grandparents begged her to give birth, offering my father's inheritance and accident compensation that they bought me. She left after my birth. My grandparents raised me. For my mother, I feel nothing. Love, hate, longing. Those emotions bring pain, so I let go. When my grandparents died in middle school, I was truly orphaned. I spent a month processing sadness, then moved on. Someone offered 100,000 yuan for their old house. Everyone said I was foolish, but I knew I couldn't hold on to it. I needed money to study, to live, so I sold it and left. Now it's Amelia. She didn't explain immediately, and now I won't believe her. I refuse to be paranoid. Let's divorce before it gets ugly. But the more I push, the more she resists. I can't understand her. When negotiations failed, I filed for divorce, only for Amelia to retaliate by threatening to terminate all contracts with my company. Chapter 7. Amelia and I met through the company. After graduating, I started a business with classmates. We had no funding or connections. A company approached, but the manager said, "Sleep with me for a year, and I'll give you everything." I refused, smashed a bottle over his head, and was arrested. He swore to put me away. Then Amelia appeared as she bailed me out, smoothed things over, and negotiated with our company. At first, I thought she wanted the same, so I unbuttoned my shirt. Shall we get straight to it? But she buttoned me back up. No need. I pity you. I accepted her pity. With her help, the company thrived. Now she's using it to hold me hostage. When I went to her office, she said, "Withdraw the divorce filing." I chuckled. "Fine, I'll withdraw it. Anything else?" Her brows furrowed. "When are you moving back?" "Another condition?" She pressed her lips together. "Today. I'll move back today." Satisfied, she threw her pen. "Get out." The smile vanished in my car. I hate being controlled. No one controls me. I called a meeting to find new partners, but my team refused, comfortable with Amelia's terms. It was clear, time to leave, but I needed time to secure funds. So I moved back. Amelia was awake, working on her laptop. "Let's talk. I'm tired." Another time. I went to the guest room. I didn't know which room Ethan had slept in, but everything made me uncomfortable. Eventually, I grabbed a sheet and slept on the couch. The next morning, I found a blanket on me. I angrily threw it down. Amelia was frying eggs. "Who told you to cover me?" She paused. "I changed all sheets, they're clean." I clenched my teeth. "It doesn't matter. The air in this house makes me sick." "Benjamin." Amelia scolded, her voice low with anger. "You're going too far. He only stayed one night. Nothing happened. What are you trying to pull?" I laughed coldly. "Too far. Let me bring some woman home, dress her in your pajamas, dry her hair, maybe then you'll understand how it feels." "Don't you dare." Amelia's eyes blazed. I shook my head calmly. "Not that I dared. I wouldn't. I have principles. I wouldn't stoop to something so disgusting." Chapter 8. Amelia and I parted on bad terms. She angrily dumped breakfast in the trash and stormed to her room. I didn't hold back, slamming the door as I left. Once again, we were in a cold war. I kept busy, leaving early and returning late. Amelia was busy too. 4 days, we didn't cross paths. During this time, I met with people to discuss selling my company shares. Ideally, I'd sell to current partners, but their stance was clear, they weren't on my side. To maximize benefit, I split shares among several buyers, ensuring none gained decision-making power. What happened next was up to them. Negotiations went smoothly. As money rolled in, I officially exited the company. Former partners stormed in, red-faced and furious. I gave you a choice. Honestly, this outcome isn't bad. When Amelia and I fall out, at least you won't get caught in the crossfire. Let's not pretend that kicking me out wasn't off your minds. They avoided my gaze. Nonsense. We never planned that. You're afraid of Amelia. Otherwise, once the rabbit's gone, who remembers the hunting dog? With the company resolved, it was time to deal with Amelia. But first, Ethan approached, demanding a talk. Why haven't you divorced her, Benjamin? Have you no pride? Clinging to a woman who supports you. How long will this last? I laughed. Who are you to say that? Her lover? The side guy? Has Amelia even acknowledged you? She keeps saying there's nothing between you. Get it? You aren't even qualified to be a side piece. I looked him up and down. And it's not me refusing divorce, that it's Amelia. Is that the best you can do? Ethan flushed. You're lying. Amelia wants to divorce you. She doesn't like you. If it weren't for... He stopped abruptly. I stared. If it weren't for what? A twisted smile spread on Ethan's face. Aren't you curious? You and Amelia come from different worlds. Why did she appear in your life? Help you out of nowhere? You think that was coincidence? You're naive, Benjamin. What are you saying? Want to know? Beg me. I scoffed. Keep it. I don't care. I stood to leave. Ethan panicked. Benjamin, stop. I kept walking. Wait. I have something to show you. I smirked and sat back down. Ethan's cockiness vanished. He pulled out a photograph and slid it across the table. This is Amelia and her adoptive mother. I glanced indifferently. In the photo, Amelia looked 5 or 6 small and thin. If Ethan hadn't said it was her, I wouldn't have recognized her. Then I froze. The woman beside young Amelia. A buried memory surfaced. In my grandmother's wardrobe, under clothes, there was an old red book. A marriage certificate. Inside was a photo, my father and my mother, who had left. Chapter 9. I knew little about Amelia's family, only that her parents were dead, and she had no siblings. Like me, an orphan. The difference, she had money, I had nothing. Amelia visited her parents' graves. I once offered to go, but she refused, saying, no need. That no need killed my plan to take her to my grandparents' graves. Sometimes I wondered if our relationship was normal. I had no answer, no relationship experience, no elders to guide me. In the end, I told myself, this is good enough. I carried that into 5 years of marriage with Amelia. But now, Ethan said those 5 years were a joke. Ethan said Amelia was a true orphan, raised in an orphanage. At 6, she was adopted by a wealthy, childless couple. Her adoptive mother doted on her. When Amelia was 12, her adoptive father died. 6 years ago, her mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and died 6 months later. Before she died, she told Amelia she had a son that she regretted abandoning him and hoped Amelia would find and care for him. Guess who that son is? Ethan smiled twistedly. At the time, Amelia and I were in love. She broke up, saying she had to fulfill her mother's wish. Why? She was my girlfriend. How could she end it? What about me? Benjamin, you're lucky. Your mother never stopped thinking about you. On her deathbed, she made Amelia your guardian. But me? Why did your family's business sacrifice our love? I took the photo before leaving. Ethan called after me. You'll really divorce Amelia, right? But are you sure you want someone who tossed you aside so easily? Chapter 10. Amelia, we need to talk. I arranged to meet her at home. She arrived half an hour late, exhausted, and slumped onto the sofa. What do you want to discuss? Where to start? No need for pretense. I placed the photo in front of her. So your adoptive mother was my biological mother. The hand rubbing her temples froze. Who gave you this? Doesn't matter. Let's talk about Ethan. Amelia sighed, sinking deeper into the couch. I should have known. He's the only one who's seen that photo. Is there anything you want to say? Silence. Long, oppressive silence. Just as I thought she'd never speak, she began. From her, I heard the full story. My adoptive mother built a cosmetics brand from scratch. She met my adoptive father, and they built a life. He couldn't have children, so she suggested adoption. That's how I came in. Amelia continued. The greatest fortune of my life was being their child. But happiness didn't last. My father died, then my mother got cancer. That's when I learned about you, Benjamin. You have to understand that she never forgot you. She carried the weight of abandoning you. She treated me well to make up for what she couldn't give you. She transferred all her love and guilt for you onto me. She loved you, Benjamin. Her dying wish was for you to be well, to forgive her. I'm sorry for keeping this from you. As she spoke, I waited for anger or grief. Nothing came. Just a strange, unprecedented calm. Condolences, I said simply. Amelia stared in shock. That's all. I thought. Well, since we share a mother, let's end things amicably. Finalize the divorce quickly. Benjamin. She called my name, but nothing else came. After a pause, are you still holding a grudge? She's gone. Can't you forgive her for the dead's sake? I exhaled. A grudge? Hardly. I just find it distasteful. Benjamin, shut up. Amelia snapped. I chuckled. Fine. What do you want to hear? That I've forgiven her. That I love her. That she was the best mother, and I'll cherish her memory? Will that satisfy you? I can go to her grave and say it aloud. Now, can we talk about divorce? Benjamin, I know your name. No need to repeat it. Amelia contained her frustration. I understand you need time. We don't have to rush. When you've thought, we'll talk. No need to wait. Talk now. Tell me your conditions. What do you want? I'll even visit your adoptive mother's grave yearly. Just divorce me. Every second with you makes me sick, like finding a fly in a sandwich. Half a fly. I will not divorce you. I promised my mother I'd take care of you. Great. Now I've swallowed the other half of the fly. Amelia, I don't want to disrespect the dead, but you're forcing me. You said your mother was amazing, building her brand. But do you know where her money came from? It was my father's blood money. Do you know how ruthless she was? She took all his accident compensation, all his earnings. Left nothing. When she left, she pretended to take me for a walk so my grandparents wouldn't stop her. She abandoned me behind a barn in winter. I almost froze to death. That's impossible, Amelia denied instinctively. I don't hate her. Hating takes energy. She's an irrelevant stranger. But you keep saying she loved me, cared, was sorry. Where was she when I dug in the dirt with my grandparents to survive? When, after they died, people threatened to sell me if I didn't sell the house. When I was bullied, nearly drove to take a knife. In my second year of college, when my tuition was stolen, leaving me on the brink of jumping off a roof. Where was she? Without feelings, she's just a stranger. With feelings, she deserves to rot in hell. My words drained Amelia's face of color. I didn't know. Mother wanted to make it right. Benjamin, she just didn't know how to face you. I laughed bitterly. How noble of her. Living in luxury while I was a grain of sand grinding her heart. I'm sorry for existing. That's not what I meant. Amelia tried to explain, but her words faltered. Emotions surged, making me dizzy. I rubbed my temples. You people are something else. You feel guilty, so you compensate through her. Am I dead? Shouldn't compensation come to me? She was dying, afraid to go with regrets, so she dumped responsibility on you. You married me out of duty. What a joke. Why did you think marrying me was the best apology? You think I couldn't find a wife? You should have just given me money. Seriously, Amelia. Let's divorce. I'm her biological son. Proving it would be easy. If you don't agree, I'll take you to court for my inheritance. Chapter 11. That day, I rambled on. Aside from a few initial words, Amelia stayed quiet, listening. We both knew there was no going back. The divorce was inevitable. 3 days later, Amelia agreed. This time, she drafted the agreement, giving me more than half her assets. Company shares, property. I didn't bother to look. My therapist once said my biggest problem was lack of desire. For money, for anything. It made sense. No one stood behind or ahead of me. He asked, what do you want most? I thought long and hard. I want someone to love me. I worked hard, tried to be better, so someone would love me. But Amelia destroyed that. I hated her, but I couldn't despise her. She had helped me once. I had to let go. My therapist said, decisively leave what drags you down. Move forward. The people who love you are ahead. We registered the divorce. A month later, we got the certificates. I decided to leave the city. Ethan left too. Such a waste, he said. All these years, I couldn't let go. In the end, she wasn't worth it. Did I spend years feeding a dog? Sorry for interfering. I didn't forgive him, but I didn't hate him. He was a passerby in that garbage period. Someone who tripped me, left me dusty. I brushed off the dirt and moved on. No veto. A true hero never looks back. Chapter 12. Only after Benjamin left did Amelia truly see him. To her, he'd been a debt to repay. Marry him, give him resources. He was a vague symbol, thinner than paper. She'd missed him making her herbal medicine, trying to make her laugh, his hopes, his disappointments. 5 years of blindness. Truly unfortunate. 3 months later, Amelia learned Benjamin had seen a therapist. The therapist wouldn't disclose details, but said, For Benjamin, living has always been a struggle. He's fought hard. One of the strongest patients I've ever had. From then on, Amelia searched for him, not to disturb, just to know he was okay. A year later, she found him in a small town, holding a toddler's hand. The child was learning to walk. Amelia's face paled. That night, she flew there. Benjamin was tanned, thinner, but softer. He was surprised to see her. "Long time no see," he said. For the first time, Amelia felt awkward. "Long time no see." Her eyes fell on the child. "Did you get married?" Benjamin chuckled. "Not quite. I adopted him. He's an orphan." Amelia's heart relaxed. She realized she'd hoped for a reunion. She liked Benjamin. But he said, "I'm never getting married again." Amelia wanted to cry. What had she been doing all these years? "Can I visit? Visit the child?" He shook his head. "Best not. Otherwise, I'll have to move again. It's a hassle." Amelia felt lonelier. She wanted to buy a house nearby, but she knew she couldn't. All she could say was goodbye. "Goodbye," she whispered. "Take care," Benjamin said faintly. "Let's not meet again." A week after Amelia's visit, Benjamin left with the child, disappearing. His message was clear: don't look for him. That night, Amelia drank until her stomach ached, tears in her eyes. She'd lost the person who made her herbal medicine. She gave up searching. She only wished him happiness.